Welcome to an incomplete guide to personal growth. We invite you to take a breath and take a listen to our podcast that explores the wonder, humor, challenges, and sometimes those self-inflicted wounds on the journey of personal growth.
Our weekly podcast conversations include stories, resources, and tools that you can incorporate into your daily life. We're the mother-daughter duo of Sydney West
and Kelly Arundel.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Sid. I sound like a frog today, but I think it's just allergies.
I know. Oh, if you live in Texas, February/early March is torturous during this time of year. So we're doing a little intro before we get to our interview with Stephanie, our very first guest.
Yay!
Interview episode. But you had something that you read recently.
I did. I read recently, and it just, woo. I read that Gen Zers are going to bed earlier.
Yeah.
They're not staying up so late. They're like going to bed at a decent time.
I saw that.
And it was like, I've been hip this whole time. I've been going to bed earlier for a long time now.
I know.
So
I think you and I are like clockwork when it comes to bedtime.
You know?
It's like my body knows.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, because, I don't know, I forget what that article said some of the reasons are, but I think some of the reasons are like, well, we're having to get, I feel like we're a little better at getting up earlier, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think, too, it's like, you just get so socially, emotionally drained. Social media is really draining.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, okay, this is my excuse to not have to deal with anybody.
Well, not going out and spending the money.
Yes,
So you're
that
staying
too.
in.
Mm-hmm, saving money. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting that they're like being old people.
You know, people.
Early.
Yes. I mean, I think 9:30 to 10 o'clock is a perfectly reasonable time.
I do, but
Would you do that in your 20s?
No.
Not before kids.
No, it was,
right?
Yeah, kids just messed
See,
me
and I
up.
was still doing 10 o'clock.
You did
for
anyway.
a long time.
But you were such an early riser.
I know. And so I think it's like waking up early, and I think we realized too, I know. But I think we realize how beneficial sleep really is.
Yes.
I think there are a lot of, I think it's
They're
been
more health
recently,
conscious and aware of stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
so.
it's being health conscious too. Yeah, but it's like as sleep, you just feel better.
Well, I'm hip.
You're hip. Oh my gosh.
Right.
And with that, we'll go over to our interview with Stephanie Allred. And we'll kind of get a little intro and introduction from her during the episode. But yeah, we'll hop over to the interview. Okay, we'll start. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
Hey, Stephanie. It's good to see you.
It's nice to see you both too.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you are our first interviewee.
I know. I feel like a really honored guest.
And you are. You are.
Yes.
Before we get down to business,
Okay.
I have one question. Because I know that your family holds a
Gingerbread
decorating contest every year. And I voted this year. But I never heard the results.
Oh my gosh. I won this year.
Oh, no. And it was announced on the podcast. How cool is that?
Oh my gosh. Live on the podcast. I won. I made Weird Barbie this year.
Was that? Oh, that's
nice.
My mom always posts on Facebook the winner.
Okay.
And I'm not really a Facebook user. And I probably should do a better job of letting all of the voters know.
Yeah, I was like left hanging, but that's okay. I'm glad you went. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So to our maybe listeners, Steffi and I met when we were in college. Oh my gosh,
almost 10 years ago or over.
Oh my God. 2013. It has been.
Oh my gosh. We're getting old.
Crazy. We were both in that good old David L. Boren Hall on OU's campus. And the Boren Babes. That was
the
our group.
Boren Babes. I remember that.
Yes, our little friend group. I know. I was thinking about how we met today, and I can't actually remember, but I assume the first time that we met was like when people in our building, which was the honors college, were kind of getting together and meeting, and people were being really dorky and embarrassing.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. They were so freaking dorky. And then like you're a little, because we were on different sides of the hallway. There was like a big staircase in between. And so like she had kind of made a little group with people on her side of the hallway, and they were being all cool. And then I don't know if I like asked to hang out or you were like, oh, let's go I don't know, something like
I don't know. I feel like we just identified each other as like, she's cool, even though she's on the other side of the hallway.
Yes, I think so. Oh my gosh. Well, if you missed something, then I'll fill in, but you can give a little intro for yourself.
Oh, yeah, I'm Sydney's friend from college. It's crazy how long we've been friends, but how beautiful that is. Since we parted ways in Oklahoma, I came back to Missouri, which is where I'm from, and went to medical school, and now I'm doing residency. So I'm training to become an OBGYN, and I'm in my second of 4 years of that right now.
Yeah. Woo.
That's getting close.
I know, almost halfway. I'm like,
well, unless you do a fellowship.
Yes. Almost halfway with this part.
Yeah.
Yes. Almost done with this part.
That's great.
Good. Yay.
That's great.
She's awesome. I'm trying not.
Yes.
Well, we don't really curse on this podcast, so I was going to say something else, but she's awesome.
I'll try to be good because I am big into cursing.
Always bleep it out.
Okay. That's
fine. We always bleep it out.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah. So, topic is community, and kind of like community in the sense of Gen Z, millennial. We're going to focus on that generation. Okay. And I know you've hopefully come up with some questions, but my first one, Stephanie, I feel like anywhere like where you've gone, you kind of like, I don't know, make this little like pod of people for yourself. I would think I feel like that's what you do. And is it intentional, or is it just something that kind of like, I don't know, you feel like naturally happens to you?
Both. like all good answers. I feel like in our generation, a lot of people talk about like found family. And I think there is a push to put more emphasis on friendships, non-romantic relationships, mentorship, even like alternative ways that we can bolster our social network. And for me, I'm a deeply social person. Sydney knows this about me. I'm like a capital E extrovert. And in order to feel happy and fulfilled, like want to spend a lot of time with other people. I want to hang out with people every single day if I can. And so I think everywhere I go, I naturally, I think, build a friend group because I think most people don't have the same social capacity as me. So I need a lot of people so that I can put them in the rotation.
Spread it out.
to stay busy. But I also just think like I love other people so much. And so I feel like I have an easy time identifying reasons that people are cool and awesome and could have a lot to contribute to my life. And then I hope that I give it back. I try to be a thoughtful friend and make those relationships worthwhile both ways. Although, who knows, maybe I'm a selfish person.
I don't think so. And you're in your residency, please. But no, you're not. That's good to know because I always thought it was kind of intentional. And I feel like there has to be some sort of intentionality behind it to make, anything fulfilling happen, Yeah.
It's definitely something I think about more as I get older because especially like I think, and Kelly, maybe you can weigh in on this. I don't think my parents have the social life that they wish that they had. My sister, as she left graduate school and went into the workforce, or even when she had time just as a regular grown-up with a job before she went to graduate school, had the experience of like being just a regular adult and trying to maintain or make new friends is super hard.
Yeah.
And so I have the fortune, because I'm on this really long training journey, that I keep having these like forced communities of
Yeah.
school.
Mhm.
And those are, I think, inherently a little bit easier places to
Yeah.
make friends, because you're forced together for some amount of time. You have a shared interest. And I'm trying to be really intentional about maintaining those as I move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Because I love my friends and the people who've helped me in a previous stage of life.
Mhm.
But as we move on, physically move and get older and move into other phases of life, I feel like it is harder to maintain it without being intentional about it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I was thinking that because you still have this built-in system, and I was wondering, about when that's not
Mhm.
there, what do you
Mhm.
do? And it is hard finding those.
Yeah,
And I
it
hear a lot
is.
of people struggling with that. And
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like, oh, the answer is this, because it's not. The church used to be the place,
Mhm.
or a good place, and it's
Not
and it's just struggling,
Yeah.
and that's not where people are looking.
Yeah.
And I know, online communities are becoming a thing,
Mhm.
right? And to
Yeah.
me, it's so hard for me.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I do some stuff, but
Yeah, it's
it's
hard.
difficult. So,
Yeah.
and I can see it just gets harder. You have to really find a niche of people.
Mhm. Yeah.
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 And I know Sydney's real good about staying in contact with those that
Yeah.
have, from college and other, as
Mhm.
you move on. And that
Yeah. Yeah. It
we didn't
matters.
have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was harder to do that.
Yeah, and I think like social media definitely helps some with that. Though honestly, I feel like we text more. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
know.
well, because I'm not much of a social media person,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like that can make it, I don't know, social media is good and bad in that. But
Mhm. Yeah.
so would you call like what you have, would you like label it community or any part of what you have as community, or do you just see it more as just like, I don't know, like different friendships here and there?
I don't know. I always think of it more of like my social support network, which
I like that title.
is probably just a long way to say community.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I have a lot of variety of
Mhm.
types of relationships, which I think is really important.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I think especially because my career is such a big part of my life right now, since I work a tremendous amount. I try really hard to be connected with like mentorship relationships,
Yeah.
um, which I think is something that maybe doesn't come as naturally to people. But like there are folks that were on faculty at OU when Sydney and I were in
Yeah.
undergrad that I still talk to regularly. And
Wow.
sure, like maybe they don't have exactly the same kind of job as me, but like
Right.
they have wisdom and things to impart.
Man,
Uh,
that's good.
so I
Do
feel
you,
like,
yeah.
oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Do you feel like, because you said mentorship, do you have a variety of ages of
Yeah.
friendship?
Oh, yeah, I think I
Yeah.
do.
Mhm.
I guess I don't have a ton of youngsters. My little brother's 22.
You've got
Okay.
one even though you haven't ever met him.
That's true.
Charles.
That's true. I have Charles. And one of my dear friends from med school she lives where I live still now, and she's
Mhm.
also doing her residency at the same hospital as me. She has two kiddos, a
Oh.
3-year-old and a 6-month-old, and I am
Oh,
old.
yeah. Yeah.
But I guess I hope I'll be their mentor, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Charles
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think that has always meant a lot to me.
Having the different ages. Yeah.
Yes, the wisdom, the
Yeah.
life experiences, and
Mhm.
I think it goes both ways. I learn from younger. I'm having a ball
Yeah.
doing this because I'm learning a lot,
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want to get stale.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's fun, and I think that's important
Yeah.
to have that older and younger
Yes.
friendships,
Yeah.
relationships.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think family is such a great source of that for so many people. I
Mhm.
feel like y'all have a really close
Yeah.
family with aunts, uncles, grandparents,
Mhm.
Yeah.
great aunts. I know I've met plenty of Sydney's family
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
from around her wedding time.
Yeah.
And I think that, that can be such a good source of that. But then, everyone's relationships with family can be complicated sometimes too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say that you value, I mean, not all, they're not all that close, but some of your friendships like family, or is that just like they're not quite on the same level?
I probably do. I think I have friendships that I value the same. And yet, and I'm so lucky. I mentioned the concept of like found family. And I
Yeah.
think, there are folks who have to do that because they don't have an incredible loving family. And I have an incredible loving family
Yeah, you
that is so awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I have that. And I'm obsessed with my family and love to spend time with them.
Mhm.
But I think I have friends that I probably do feel the same love.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a sense of obligation,
Yeah.
or even like protectiveness that I have for my family that I'm not quite sure I would have the same
Right.
feelings towards with some of my friends. But I
Yeah.
think in terms of time spent thinking about them, being with them, wanting to be with them, I think I have friendships that do
Yeah.
rival family.
Yeah. Family. Yeah. Yeah.
What about, and I know you're in the throes of residency, balancing social
Yeah.
friendships, developing those, because those do take time,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
career.
work and yeah.
Oh, it's tough. I think this is where it comes down to, I think, like what fills your cup and what gives you energy. And I think
Mhm.
I have learned about myself that I am an extrovert. I want
Yeah.
to do social things that are fun, even
Mhm.
though my work is tremendously social. I talk to people all day.
I was going to say, I think you're interacting.
Yeah. And I think for some of my colleagues, that is pretty exhausting.
Mhm.
And so at the end of a workday, like the absolute last thing that they want to do is hang out and chit chat and be with people. And it's just not the same for me. And so I think that it just means, I prioritize that differently in my free time. So I spend a ton of time on the phone. I like to talk on the phone pretty much anytime I'm driving home from work.
Yes, that's usually when we talk is when she's
How funny.
driving home.
I'm like, if I'm driving and I'm not on the phone, I feel like it's a waste of time.
Oh, no. That's an
Love it.
extrovert.
Oh,
The
yeah.
introvert here is going, oh, la,
Oh,
la, la,
boy.
Yeah.
That's great.
But I talk on the phone a ton, and then I try to have little like social outings, or go over to friends' houses that are here. There are limitations in residency. Sure, sometimes I need to just sleep or need to just study or do my work. But I think I probably I choose to be a little bit more on the sleep deprived side to get the like social
Social.
fulfillment stuff
Yeah.
that I feel like I need. That probably some of my other co-residents, like they would prioritize things differently. But I do think like probably the part of community relationships that's maybe has gone by the wayside for me is I haven't had a ton of romantic relationships in my adult life. And it's, like dating is something I intermittently do and aspire to do probably better.
So hard.
But I don't have a long-term romantic partner. So that's like
Yeah.
a huge, I think that for a lot of people that fills a big component of their
Right.
emotional support
Mhm.
network, their time. And I don't have that. So I feel like I spread the wealth.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
all your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that's what I was going to ask. That it seems like friendships all of a sudden veer off,
Mhm.
or can, when somebody
Yeah.
finds a
Yeah.
partner, and it just shifts
Mhm.
things
Yeah. Yeah.
for that. Yeah, I did have a question and it just went by the wayside, but it'll come back to me.
It'll come back.
That's what happens.
Yes. But no, I think that's true. It's like, especially, I mean, whenever you get a new boyfriend or
Yeah.
girlfriend, whatever, it's just like,
My question came back.
oh,
so
did? What is it? I was trying to kill time.
Because, part of the friendship is because you were asking about, if I have as many friends,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's harder. It seems like it does get harder. Church can't fill that for me right now. So I look for activity groups to find those friendships. Is that one way that
Well, I mean, she's in her activity now, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
my work is an activity.
it's the activity.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. But I do try for other things.
Yeah.
I'm in a little ceramics. I've been taking ceramics classes.
That's so cool.
consistently for the like year and a half that I've been in residency. And I have met some people through that are, like cool artistic people with cool normal jobs. Um, and so
That's
that is fun. And it's a way to like, mentally get away from my work and just get into a different setting to meet people who I would probably otherwise never meet.
Yeah, definitely.
That can be almost meditative too, because you think of other things. I did one class and it just didn't go well, but I mean, it was just a fun thing on vacation.
Oh, it's so
but
good.
It just, and I think this really takes, so I can see where it would just be
meditative. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I always call it art therapy.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think there's a lot of folks who take the classes like to become good at ceramics, and I'm taking the classes for art therapy.
Yes.
That's
I love
great,
that. Oh my god.
Yeah, and so you meet people through those type of activities, because I think that does get harder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It
For me anyway. Yeah. See.
Yeah.
Well, good.
I had a question too. I know, and then it really just went away when we were talking about art therapy.
Yeah. There you go.
No, I think my older sister is I think a good model for like intentionally working to build the community that you want. Because she moved for a job and then didn't have like a big social community. And she has done like an incredible job of both professionally networking and personally putting herself out there. Like she's in all these pickleball leagues all the time now.
Cute.
And I think has done a lot of cool things to get to know people. And, and some of it has been, failures. I think she's taken like an ASL class and thought that she might make a friend and it didn't really pan out, or it doesn't all work out, but she's put in a tremendous amount of effort.
I think and that's a great point to bring up, because you're going to try stuff, and you may not find your people
in it,
or a person even, and to go, well, that's okay too. Let me think some more and let me try something new.
Definitely.
But it does take stretching, because it takes putting yourself out there, trying something different, trying something new, and then also in a group you may not know. So
And I think like we think about that kind of rejection when we talk about dating a lot. Like you gotta keep putting yourself out there. You gotta keep getting on the horse. We don't really talk about like going through rejection about friendship, but sometimes you can get rejected seeking friends, and it hurts probably the same as it does to get rejected in romance.
That is so true. And sometimes it's like with way less closure, because you like put it in, you get ghosted or whatever. Like,
that's true.
I feel like it's with way less closure. You're just like, well, I guess this person just didn't like me, and I don't know what it was.
At least with romance you can be like, well, it's a specific thing that I didn't fit, but like with friendship, it's like, well, I could have offered them all this different stuff. I just think we should have so much more reverence for platonic friendship, because it's so important.
It is.
It is.
And people, I don't think, realize how important it is until they're stuck, like alone somewhere.
Yes.
And how intentional you have to be. And I think
you do.
Like your idea of kind of keeping up when you can with like past friendships, and even because I know we talk, but it's not like, not even often once a month, but it's like whatever we do,
you just connect.
Yeah. But because we've at least done something towards it, and who knows, like maybe the new place you're moving, one of your friends knows somebody there, and like those connections I feel like could happen too. But I think platonic friendships are kind of like seen as an afterthought to like all of the other relationships that you can have in your life. I feel like,
I have one friend that we write letters still.
Oh, I love that.
But Kathy.
Oh my gosh.
And all of a sudden, it was so fun because we got a Christmas card. She sends Christmas cards. I don't. She sent a Christmas card and it was real thick. And I thought, And I opened it. It was a letter. And so I had to go to where nobody was and go read this juicy letter, and it was just fun. And so we don't do it. It's not like every week we get letters, but she's the one person, and it's different to get a letter
It is.
Oh.
handwritten than anything else. And we just,
Mhm.
you just devour it,
Yeah.
Oh, that is
And
so
so-
precious.
It's so
Yeah. I mean, it
cool.
really, and it's,
Yeah.
so it's, again, it's not that
Yeah.
we talk often.
Mhm.
We may not see each other
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
year, but then
Yeah.
it's there. And and I know it's
Yeah.
those friends that you could call anytime,
Yeah.
at least to share news or whatever.
And do you feel like you get different sorts of advice and like, I don't know, maybe sometimes better perspectives than you do from friends and family? I feel like sometimes family can be too close. I don't know.
Sometimes, yeah,
Yeah.
or family has a ulterior motive.
Yes.
No, it ain't so.
They can have a vested interest in you, which can change their perspective.
Yeah.
Or just sometimes it's a boundary thing. Sometimes I want to talk
Mhm.
about my family.
Yeah.
Not in a I want to talk bad behind their back way.
No,
but,
but yeah.
Sometimes it's even that, talking about family or talking about, stuff that you're not comfy talking with family about. So
Right.
yeah, and I just think even different kinds of friends are good for different kinds of
Yes.
combos.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
it has different skills and stuff.
Yeah, and just the moods and who,
Yeah. But
what they offer.
yeah.
Yeah.
We need to value platonic friendships is like, for sure. It's just something you don't ever think consciously about,
Oh, and yet I think about it all the time.
I know.
But some do, yeah. And so much of it depends, people like me, introverts, we need extrovert friends.
Yes.
It's the both and. But I mean, I make myself reach out. I make myself go out of my comfort zone because I know I have to.
Yeah.
In order to get it fulfilled, right?
Yeah.
That's what that fulfillment of I'm missing something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I need,
Did you kind of always know you were an extrovert, or was that something you like came to later?
I think I've known it, probably like since high school at least, like since I've really known myself.
Yeah.
A part of it is that I love attention. Oh, and then I think a part of it is I'm a nosy little busybody. Like I've
Yes.
always like wanted to know what everybody else is up to. Like I've always wanted to be in
Love
the
it.
know. I want to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just feel like I've always been like deeply interested in the people around me.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're going to be great at any future HOA meetings.
It's so funny. That you're the people that people like me need because I know nothing, and it's like I need somebody that has intel, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, certainly I love gossip because that's fun, but it's not even about that. It's like I want to know what everybody is up to. Like because
That's so cool.
I love getting to know people. I think everybody has so much to offer.
Yeah.
What a great attitude to,
I know.
waiting to see. I know somebody has something to offer.
It's so positive.
Yeah, so you're looking for the positive, and that's
I think
great.
so.
And you
I
probably
mean, I'm
find
certain.
it
I'm not a saint or anything.
Yeah.
I can certainly be judgmental and have my preconceived notions about folks. I'm sure sometimes too.
For sure. For sure.
No, one thing you said, Kelly, about like kind of forcing yourself to get out there sometimes.
Yes.
One thing that I've been thinking about a lot more the older I get too is that like keeping the score with our friends or like carrying grudges and like little irritations, because I think like nobody wants to put themselves out there for a friend or or a relationship in general where they don't feel like they're getting the same back. But but everybody's going through so much and everybody's relationship to friendships is different. And so I really try really, really hard not to keep score and just keep putting myself out there because I want that friendship in my life. And so like, it doesn't matter if I have to call them 10 times before we talk on the phone once. If we talked on the phone once and it made me happy, then how good is that?
Yeah. And what a great perspective. And what you said, Stephanie, about we don't know what's going on in somebody else's life. And to me, one of the things when I have friends go silent, I know that's not a good thing going on usually in their life. something must be really keeping them
Yeah.
busy, or they're wanting to be quiet for a reason, and that's
Yeah.
for me, that's a signal to just touch base,
Yeah.
to go,
Yeah.
what's, that's a silent mode there.
Mhm.
Sheesh, I'm learning so much from you. That's so. I
She's
am
great. She's
so bad.
insightful.
I'm so bad at the keeping
Mhm.
score thing, and I don't hold. I think I've come like I don't know. I feel like in our friend group, you were maybe the person to initiate it, but I promised Stephanie in like several other friendships, like
You initiate
I
a
tend
lot.
to initiate a lot.
I believe that because Sydney's a doer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Snap to it.
And so and there are things like meeting new friends here. Like I tend
You've reached
to
out.
pretty much always be the one, and they generally do say yes, but then it's like, okay, well then how much do they really care about me if they're not the ones trying, I'll put forth the effort.
Because
But
they're
it's-
like me.
Exactly.
I'm
I
not a phone
know.
person.
You
So I'm
don't-
like, oh, if I see him, I'll ask him.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, but I feel like it comes from this like fear of rejection. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're
Yeah.
only hanging out because they felt bad saying no, not because they actually want to. And so
Yeah.
then you tell yourself that they have to court you back. Like I feel like it comes from a place of
Yeah.
being mean to yourself and not valuing yourself. So I try really hard not to do it.
That's so
You
good.
know, that's not to say that I'm not petty,
No,
but but I try hard to just say like, you know what, people are busy. Like
yeah.
I'm just gonna keep wearing them down. If they really don't want to talk, they'll never answer the phone.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I need to, and I've been trying to consciously like be the one that's like, it's okay. If they ever want to say no, they can say no. That's
right.
on them, not me. So I can still ask, like, that's
Mhm.
okay. So I am trying to
Yeah.
get that better mindset. I think that's something that a lot of people like. I mean, I think people my age, like, we just have to get over because there is so much fear.
Mhm.
Like, where does that come from? I don't know. There's something psychologically, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's
We'll
think
just blame social media because we do everything.
Yeah.
You know, insecurity,
Yeah.
kind of the classic offenders.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I bet because my sister and I, we talk a lot about this.
Mhm.
I think also if you think of it a different way, if you always initiate, you probably always get to make the plan, and then you always get to do what you want to do.
That's true.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't
You
that
know, like you
sad?
don't constantly just have to be going to someone else's, choice for movie or
Yeah.
dinner at a restaurant you wouldn't have picked. Instead, you're like,
Yeah.
I want to do this. Do you want to come?
Yes.
That's great.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
Oh
What
my
a healthy way.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I
Very
need more of
healthy.
that.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. And it's funny because I'm just going to throw in this older generation thing. Because I was talking to somebody the other day and she said, yeah, my husband's really, a homebody and I always like to go, but I'm finding myself slowly, as she gets older going, no, and trying to make herself go. So it's, and COVID changed some of that, but can't blame everything on that. But, it is, it's easy to get in a rut.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I think that's the other thing too is it's hard to get back out again.
Yeah.
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 Definitely good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have learned a lot.
Yes. You're so, oh my gosh, so
God.
insightful.
I
so
sound
positive.
so well on this. I promise you guys, I'm just normal.
Don't sell yourself short.
That's right. Because
No.
everybody has their gifts
Yes.
and their strengths, and that's obviously
Yes.
one.
Yes. Friendship
God.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Aw.
being our first
Guest.
No, thank you so much. I feel so honored. I will cherish this forever.
Love it.
That was a really good interview, I think. She was so insightful. Oh
She
my God.
was. I just love her.
Yes.
She's
so sweet.
Yeah, I learned some things too. So
Yeah.
fantastic. I love that. I love to learn.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Good friend.
Yeah.
So for the coming week,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's a time to examine friendships, and is there one that you need to rekindle that kind of got passed by the wayside, or you got too busy, but you just need a quick reconnect?
Or there's one that you think, I haven't, you maybe haven't reached out because you're just not sure. Maybe you just do it.
Do it.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So this is either rekindle or maybe you start another one.
Yes.
And you can find us on your podcast platforms, our website at incompleteguide.com. We have our Patreon. You'll get some meditations that Mom is leading and some other benefits too. So go to our Patreon page, YouTube channel, Instagram at An Incomplete Guide, all of the usual stuff. Please rate, review, support, all of that.
Shout out to
Lauren, my sister, and then also Jake Pilch. They've both been some Patreon donors, so you too can be heard on our podcast if you donate.
And we look forward to being with you next Tuesday when you have the opportunity to take a breath and take a listen.
See you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of An Incomplete Guide to Personal Growth. There are many ways you can stay connected. Follow us on Instagram at An Incomplete Guide Podcast, where you can sign up for our email list and get posts that delve deeper into our weekly topics. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast page wherever you listen to your podcasts. We would really appreciate a rating and sharing us with your family and friends.
We're so glad you chose to spend your time with us and hope there was a thought, a resource, or a laugh that you can take on your journey. We'll be here every Tuesday for you to take a breath and take a listen.